Welcome to my channel. I am the Hommeyosh, and in this video we're going to be modeling props that we can make in Blender and export in FBX file to Unreal. So stay tuned and let's get creating. Okay, we're starting off with the general in Blender. We're going to delete everything here, the sun, the cube, everything goes away. Alright, then we're just going to add on a plane, just a single plane, and we're going to scale it to a 5. 5 tab, 5 tab, 5. Okay, I'm going to angle it out. And we're going to do the materials. I'm just going to add on all the materials. One. I'm just going to keep this white for now. And we're going to add. I'm going to go into shader mode and we're going to drag in the image. Get this straight. And I'm going to drop my image texture. I'm going to connect my color to my colored base. Go into edit mode. So apply. Now I just need to mess with my UVs, scale this up a little bit. At my layout again, onto my render mode. Okay, we want to make this a 3-story building with the ledges. So we're going to go back into the UV editing. Yeah, this is too big. We're going to edit mode, UV, unwrap, and we're going to go to UV editor and we're going to scale this out a little bit. We're going to go back into layout. Let's scale it out some more. Go back to UV editing. Scale this out just a tad. Layout. Now it's a little bit bigger. UV editing. Scale it out. That's almost there. Let's just get a little bit bigger. Zoom out here. Right about there. There we go. That looks about right. We got 4 ledges here. So we're going to go to our edit mode. And we can hit hotkey Control R for loop cut. Or you could just use your toolbox. So we're add on our loop cuts to each one of those ledges. So we have a total of 8 loop cuts. So now so we put one here at the top. We close it in. So there's our first ledge. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Now that we got those all lined up, we're just going to select them. Each row, shift select, click right click to select, and then we're just going to extrude these out a little bit by hitting E. E's the hotkey for extrude, and then we're going to bevel these a little bit by hitting Control B and moving our mouse wheel inwards a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to have to select these sides and do our UV editing. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control R or get a loop cut going. And I'm going to add in some windows. Drag this loop cut over to the edge. There we go. Bring one more, just box it in. The same over here. There we go. Now I'm just going to select these areas. Hit 3 for your faces. I'm going to hit I to intersect. Bring it in a little bit. I'm going to extrude this up just a bit. Hit I to intersect just a tad. And then I'm going to hit E and extrude down a little bit. And I am going to add a texture to this window. I'm going to make it blue. We assign a new texture, make it blue, and I'm going to bring up, I'm going to assign metallic and roughness. Put metallic up, bring my roughness up, or down. And we're going to select these areas here, and we're going to use the UV unwrap once we get them selected. There we go. Now I'm going to make one on the other side. Do the same thing that we did. The intersect eye, move it in a little bit. Extrude it down, intersect eye, and then just extrude down. I made it a little different than the other one, so I got 2 layers to select. So I'm going to first do the window, assign it to the blue layer, and then I'm going to select these areas. I need to unwrap the UV. So I select all the areas. The windowsill. Unwrap. There we go. Now we got 2 windows. One's a little wider than the other, but we can deal with that later. Okay, so we're gonna add a cube. And we're gonna size it up. Just go on the Y. Look on the Z. I want to scale it down a little bit. I'm gonna hit G, pull it up. We can scale it down a little bit more. Hit S, scale on the Z. That's pretty good. Hit G, up a little bit. Pull it down. Alright, there we go. So I think I'm going to scale it on its y-axis, just overlapping a little bit. So that's the beginning of our ladder. So I'm just going to go to the modeling view, and I'm going to use my loop cuts. I'm going to loop the outside edges. I'm going to pull it from the center, get a little width at the end, do the same thing to the other side. Trouble to get to show up. Okay, we're going to delete the middle, highlight, and delete edges. You know, we have left is the two outsides and the center. So we got the startings of our ladder. So what I want to do now is bring in the middle steps. View select, I'm going to select, I need to fill in these little areas. So I'm going to hit the edge, and I'm going to hit F to fill it, and the two edges on the side need to be filled in as well. So if I hit Alt, left click, like I said, the edges. So let me deal with this. Let me go to edges, and then hit F to fill. Do the other side, hit the edges, and F to fill. So I'm going to go back to the first one. I'm going to go back to my edit. I'm going to hit faces, number 3, and I'm going to hit Alt, left click. Now I got all highlighted. I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate. I'm going to hit the Y axis, drag it down, right about there. Shift D, Y. Oh, something happened. Let me get rid of that. Shift D, then Y. Now I can drag it down. So Shift D, then Y, and drag it down. I'm going to repeat this. Shift D, Y, drag it down. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Yeah, so we just hit Shift Y, duplicated. We're on the Y axis, so we just hit Shift Y. Shift D, Y, and we'll drag it down. So we make all the steps on the ladder. So from here, this looks pretty good. So I want to select everything on the outside. Make sure it's all highlighted. So highlight all the bottoms and the rail and the steps. Actually, not the steps, just the bottom and the sides of the steps. And keep the steps to last. Alright, so we got everything selected except the steps. So we're going to go in and select a material. New material. And we're going to go to our shading and we're going to drag in our image. Okay, we connect our image to the base color. Okay, we need to assign the material to the ladder. And then we unwrap our UVs. And we're just gonna, we're gonna go do this manually. We're just gonna scale on the x-axis and bring this in a little bit. And we'll check on it how that looks. Oh, we didn't connect it. There we go. That looks pretty good for a ladder. Has all the rust, everything we need for a good texture. Now I want to do these steps. So let's go to edit mode and let's select all the top steps. So you can shift left click, shift left click, shift left click. Check out all the steps, then we'll leave a step left out. Got the top one, and the sides there. We're gonna come back and do that later on. Okay, we got all the top steps with these last two here. And we'll just assign it as red. Make sure we have it selected, we'll assign it. And then we go to our shader and we drag it in. Hook it up to the base color. Just move this out a little bit. And unwrap the UVs. And that looks pretty good. So there we go. There's our ladder. There's our windows. There's the back of our building. So now I want to bring in the cube, scale it up to the shape of the building. Hit Alt, left select, Shift select the bottom, Shift select the top. Go into my UVs, do my unmapping. Actually, let me select my materials. Let me turn this green. Assign new material. Then I'll go into my shading. Then I drag in my image texture, connect it. I need to go into my UVs. I just need to scale this up a little bit. So go UV editing, select, scale it up. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Scale it up. I think that'll be it. Yes, that's it. So let me just delete this face. There it is. There's the back of my building, or the front. All you gotta do is add a door. If you guys want to add more, go ahead. But we got our stairs to the top. Here we add a chimney. You can do so much more with just this building right here. But with just same techniques. Yeah. So it's all in one plane. You don't use a lot of modifiers. You don't use a lot of space in your full file. When you export it, it's just one plane. So that's how you turn a plane into a building. So let's export this as a FBX. I want to select selected objects. I want to do copy on path mode. Batching it off. Okay, everything looks up. Let's just name this here 4.2. Let's call it building game. It's code. Alright, let's just find my folder. Call this Unreal. Let's select my folder. Call this FBX folder. Okay, everything looks good. I think I'm ready to export. Alright, that's it. So we'll just wait for this to export. And that's it. So I'm going to try to export it back into Blender to make sure that it works before I open up Unreal. So we're going to import FBX. We're going to go to the location of the folder and we're going to drag in the file. It should be under my videos. There, FBX, there it is. Okay, there's my file and I'm going to import FBX. And that's it. Is that it? Yep. Everything can be selected, just move it over a little bit. But yeah, it's a complete double. It's a twin. That's it. I mean, wow. So we just turned plane into a building. And there's so much more you can do. You can make spaceships this way, sci-fi. So we're going to export the we're going to make sure that's, okay, where it's at. That's it. So we're going to save out this Blender file and make sure that everything's saved. I want to save it under what? We already got the 4, so it's 4.2. Okay, I'll save that. Close this out. I'm going to bring up my Epic. Oh man, I'd like to jump on Fortnite right now. I haven't played Fortnite in maybe a week, 2 weeks. Oh, look at that. Speaking of the devil, you got a new update. Alright, so we're at Unreal Engine. We are going to launch Unreal, go to the libraries, and we're going to do a 4.272. We're not going to mess with the 5 yet. I got to break 4.27 yet. So yeah, 5 is just totally different. I walked in there, I'm like, whoa. I back up a little bit. It's just, yeah, it's scary, really scary. Lots going on in 5. Alright, so we'll just wait for our Unreal 4.27. Okay, so we're just going to start up a new one, and we're going to do the third person model, or yeah. Okay, so our location is, the folder is Unreal 22, and we gotta have a name. So let me think, what would be a good name for this? Yeah, let's just keep it the same. Game building. Okay, we'll just create a new project. So we just wait for it to load up, as it takes its time. Oh, there it is. Alright, so we're in our game editor, so all we gotta do is pull up our content browser. And while we're in here, we're just gonna go to our file explorer that we have our folder in, and we are just gonna drag it into our content browser. Go import all, and it brings in all our materials for us. We just drag and drop, and there it is. Let's just do a little bit of placement here. W, move. So we just move this around. I also got to rotate this a little bit. So let me hit E for rotate. And do a little 90. Hit W. Move this around, give it a nice good placement. Bring this about right past the ramp, line it up at the bottom, and there it is. Let me jump around here, hit play, let me do a test run. Alright, that's great. Now I can't run up the ladder right now. I could if I give it some code, but this is just about bringing some buildings. But later on, we can do that. But yeah, that's what we did with Blender. We turned a plane into a building and exported it into Unreal. So get out there, get creative, do your thing. You can always add on a door if you want to. Just experiment, see what you can do. This was Hommeyosh. Till next time, keep it creative.